We now know the disease. We know the weaknesses and the strengths.
President Trump confident the country is better prepared for another outbreak of COVID-19, as CDC Director Robert Redfield says the country must act now to be as over-prepared as possible.
There's really no reason at this point to think that that won't happen with this particular coronavirus.
The president says when that comes, there should not be as much of a disruption.
Whether it's an ember or a flame, we're going to put it out. But we're not closing our country.
As they race to understand the virus, researchers are out with new information this week. A global study published Friday by the Lancet Medical Journal shows patients who took hydroxychloroquine had a significantly higher death rate and risk of heart problems compared to those who didn't. Discouraging news for those hopeful the anti-malarial drug would be effective in treating coronavirus, but some optimistic news coming from the CDC, which found the virus does not spread easily through contaminated surfaces or animals.
If you wash your hands and practice good surface hygiene, right, then you don't need to worry about it as much.
In addition to there being a second outbreak later in the year, there are also worries that there will be a spike in cases as people get together for Memorial Day. The nation's top infectious disease doctor giving advice for how to spend the weekend safely.
And go out, go for a run, go for a walk, go fishing, as long as you're not in a crowd and you're not in a situation where you can physically transmit the virus.
But that may be tough in areas like Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. People there Friday morning already taking advantage of the city easing restrictions.
I think, people are just getting fed up with being closed in all those winter months, and now they're getting out.
Wherever Americans go this weekend, they're likely to see flags flown at half-staff, honoring the nation's heroes for Memorial Day, as well as those lost to the coronavirus, as the national death toll nears 100,000. In Washington, I'm Atrel Nashar reporting.
Just like everything else in our lives, the coronavirus has changed Memorial Day. But one thing has not changed, and that is our love and appreciation for our nation's fallen heroes. CBS 2's Haley Kramer shows us one of today's special tributes.
It's awesome to see the old planes because they're slow. They don't go as fast as the new ones, but it always remember our past. We can't forget our past.
Clay Berry comes to the Idaho State Veterans Cemetery often to honor the men and women who serve and have served in the U.S. military. His dad served in World War II. His son followed a similar path, serving in the U.S. Navy as well. And while Berry hasn't lost anyone to war, he has many friends who have.
There's a lot of people that have lost their lives to represent the red, white, and blue. I get emotional. I'll admit to that.
While the official ceremony couldn't happen this year, that didn't stop people from showing up in numbers to honor those who lost their lives serving this country.
It's just important to me, I think, to get the kids out here. I make them walk all the way from the parking lot, miles in here, up the hill and back. To me, it's just important, like on the walk, to kind of explain to them that, all the trials and tribulations that the soldiers have gone through in the years before, and why we get to live the kind of life that we do.
All across the cemetery grounds, rows and rows of flowers and American flags.
Every year we take a little army man and we set it on my grandpa's grave.
Some placed pennies on headstones to let each service member's family know that someone came to pay their respect.
I think it is absolutely wonderful. It's truly fantastic. I love this.
Bill Braddock served in Vietnam from '67 to '68. For him, this day not only gives veterans the opportunity to honor the lives of fallen friends, but also connect with those who are still living.
There was a period of time, probably almost the first 20 years, when a lot of veterans just really did not deal with their service in Vietnam. They kind of held it inside and didn't talk about it, and it has grown increasingly important as there are fewer and fewer Vietnam veterans. It's increasingly important that we get together and support one another.
Haley Kramer, CBS 2 News.
Coronavirus has been murder on small businesses. Zeppole Bakery, no exception. But they did make it through the shutdown, and now they say they're gearing up for a strong recovery.
Sourdough rounds, ready for the oven.
Just one of the many baked goods that have made Zeppole Bakery famous in the Treasure Valley.
This is our Dutch Crunch hoagie roll. We sell out all of the time.
The banana bread's a perennial favorite.
And we even have our banana bread shipped all over the country.
And then there's Charles and Allison's favorite, a sourdough loaf.
It's a naturally leavened sourdough.
But as good as they are, the coronavirus shutdown still hit this bakery hard.
Our downtown cafe was hit especially hard. It went down 77% business.
The wholesale business also slowed down. About the only bright spot was grocery.
It seemed like we couldn't sell enough.
This is dough for Luciano's restaurant.
They use the downtime to plan, to update, and to find new and exciting recipes to try out in their ovens.
We've done a lot of R&D, which has not been good for the belly, but we've developed some wonderful, fun new products.
And now that things are looking up in stage 2 of reopening, Charles and Allison are starting to bring back employees that they had to lay off.
We qualified and received a PPP loan, and that staved off disaster. You know, our business was down almost 50% in April, and we couldn't have survived it without that.
PPP stands for Paycheck Protection Program. It's a loan from the federal government. It's helped. But while they remain positive, there are still worries in the middle of the night.
The thing we don't know is how long does this money have to last us?
Zeppole has been a fixture in the valley for 26 years, and Charles and Allison are determined it will still be here, serving up specialty breads for many more years to come.
A cosmetologist at Beaumonde Spa shared what it's like working during Idaho's Phase 2 reopening of the state. Erica Lee shares her story.
As salons reopen, people in the Treasure Valley are flocking to get their hair cut. For places like Beaumonde Spa, a lot has changed. Callie Santa-Steven had 7 weeks of clients to rebook since business is closed. And that's on top of clients she had already booked. That means 6-day work weeks for Santa-Steven for the foreseeable future.
It's been insane. It's been long days, extra days. You know, we're strict on sanitation anyways, but we're having to do it in areas where we typically wouldn't do it until the end of the day. So it's been busy.
If you have an appointment, you have to wait in your car until called. Then you have to answer a 5-question health questionnaire, sanitize your hands, and put on a mask before you can go inside. And that's just the beginning.
We're just trying to not have any clients touching the doors, but we are sanitizing the doors every hour, just in case. And then, coming in, we have the salon is set up differently right now because we've had to spread stations out. And I know, like for me, I sit right next to somebody in a little cove. So a couple days a week, I'm moving into different areas of the salon, just so that we're more spread out. So we're taking clients all the way around the salon to get to our stations. And then everyone's having to wear masks and, cleaning hands as soon as they get in the door. So just every precautionary.
They've only been back a week and things have been extremely different, but they're learning to adapt.
We've said it's kind of like the first day back to school after summer break, but you can't hug anybody. You've got to keep that distance unless you're, doing their hair. And so we've had to reroute like how we walk to our stations, and then just learning how to, when you've got blow dryers going or anything loud, you can't talk through a mask. It's hard enough already. And then you add all these salon noises. And so I feel like my hearing has gotten better. It's like this sense just kicks up. And you learn to adapt. Do I love wearing the mask all day? No. But it's not the worst thing in the world. And that's probably been my biggest thing to get used to is one of the days I was at the salon for over 10 hours and I had it on almost nonstop, taking a couple breaks outside. But by now, I'm pretty well used to it.
Santa-Steven says she's overall happy to see her clients again and to be working again. Erica Lee, CBS 2 News.